know that a lot of people actually think that all there is to sex is just to hop into bed and then hop out of it? No, there are critical things that you must consider just before you have sex and afterwards. Now, these things will go a very long way in determining how happy or sad your sex life would be. Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and today we'll be talking about the things that you should be doing just before you have sex and the things you should do afterwards. Let's jump right into it. The very first thing to consider is good hygiene. We will all agree that nobody wants to get into bed with someone who smells like, yes, any unpleasant odor coming from anywhere is enough to quench the fire, and you don't want that. So just before you get into that bed, consider giving yourself a thorough wash. Focus on your folds, the neck region, your armpits, for the females, under the breast. These are places that unpleasant odor can hide, and your intimate area. And when you're washing your intimate area, focus on the folds down there as well. And I've said this before in my previous video, if you're a woman, all that you need to keep it clean down there is just a clean water and non-scented soap. Also, make sure that the hair down there is well trimmed. If you keep a lot of hair down there, microorganisms can actually get trapped in those hairs, and during sexual intercourse they can find their way into your body, leading to an infection. And for people that like to put on things like perfumes, light fragrances, just to spice things up in the other room, it is okay, but please ensure that these products, you don't put them on in places where your partner is likely to ingest them. This is because they are made with ingredients that are not suitable for consumption. So we also have to be careful about these products too. Make sure you also brush your teeth and your mouth. You also want to taste pleasant there. So the first thing to consider is good hygiene. The second thing to consider is protection. Protection. Sexually transmitted infections like hepatitis B and C, HIV, chlamydia, gonorrhea, syphilis are actually very serious infections, and if care is not taken, they can kill. Yes, they can kill. So for people that think that a cheating husband or a cheating wife is not their business and is nothing to worry about, it is actually your business, and you should worry about it because you are risking your life. You don't go out with them. You don't know who they are sleeping with. You don't even know if they are doing it with protection or not. You are exposing yourself to whatever it is that is out there. And some of these infections can be very life-threatening. Some of them can give you cancers like the HPV, the human papilloma virus. Some of them can actually make you go on tablets for the rest of your life, like HIV. And some of them are financially draining. You will spend a lot of money treating the infections and they refuse to go away. So please, the best thing to do when you know your partner has multiple sexual partners is to avoid them. But if you still think that it is not your business, please think protection. Especially when you're not sure of their HIV status, hepatitis status, or you're not sure they are free from any of these infections, think protection. It is always better to be safe than sorry. The second form of protection to always think about is protection from pregnancy. This is for people who no longer want any more children, or people who are not ready to have children yet. Trust me, the last thing you want to do is to give birth to children you cannot cater for. You are doing yourself and those children a great disservice. So always think of a contraceptive method that will stop you from getting pregnant. I'm going to make an entirely separate video on contraceptives, but it is always ideal to always have this at the back of your mind just before you get into bed. And let me just say this, if you decide to use contraceptive methods like the condom, always make sure they are close by. Don't keep them far away from you or far away from the main place of action, because things can get steamy and hot, and then because it is so far away and you don't want to go that far and come back, you will just decide to take the risk. We don't want stories that touch the heart. Always keep them handy. The next thing to consider is lubrication. Trust me, lubrication will take your sex game from a 0 to 100. If you're a woman and you experience painful sexual intercourse, or you experience vaginal bleeding after sex because of micro tears in there, maybe you should try some lubrication. Enough lubrication will reduce the friction in there, making it harder for you to tear and reducing pain. It is also going to make it much more pleasurable for you and your partner. So try enough lubrication today. If after trying this, you still have these problems, maybe it is time to go to the hospital and have yourself checked out. And when you're choosing a lubricant, choose something that is suitable for you. If you're trying to conceive, make sure you choose a lubricant that is sperm friendly, because some lubricants can actually harm the sperm cells. And if you're not trying to conceive, you're trying to run away from pregnancy, choose something that will not cause condom breakage, leaving you at risk of pregnancy. So when you're choosing a lubricant, please read the label well, know what you're choosing. For me, I recommend water-based lubricants. They don't stain, they are sperm friendly, they don't cause condom breakage, they are very natural, they don't cause irritation or anything. The only disadvantage is that they can dry out very quickly. So personally, I prefer them. The drying out is not really a problem for me. So when you're choosing a lubricant, make sure you choose something that will suit your own personal needs. So finally, drum rolls, you've done it. You are happy, you are satisfied. Okay, so what comes next? The next thing is for you to wash yourself. Did I hear you say again? Yes, so again, you have to wash yourself after sex. There has been a lot of exchange, rubbing, bodily fluids down there, and if you leave those things there and they mix with bacteria, they can cause infections and odor. So the next thing is not for you to sleep. The next thing is to get up and go and wash yourself. Don't even argue, just get up and go wash yourself. The second thing to do after having sex is to try and empty your bladder. Especially for women, after you've had sex, please try and urinate. If you notice that a few days after sex, you start to experience pain or burning sensation when you're passing urine, or the frequency and urgency increases, these are signs of urinary tract infection. And one of the ways to stop this is urinating after you've had sex. After you've had sex and you go to urinate, you are actually trying to flush out whatever that has found its way into your urinary tract. Things like bacteria or microorganisms that can cause UTI, you flush them out when you urinate after sex. So please endeavor to empty your bladder after sex. The third thing to do is to click on that subscribe button, like this video, and share this video. Thank you so much for sticking with me to the end of this video, and see you next week as I bring you more gist. Bye for now.